Now is our second chapter of the chapter sound, and chapter name is vibration from the unit 3. So what are vibration? Vibration is a mechanical phenomena in which the particles oscillate about mean or equilibrium position. What does it means? Means, for example, we have a pendulum. So pendulum is a bob or a mass suspended by a string. So if we raise the pendulum up to this height and then we drop it, so it will start oscillating. It will oscillate means it will pass through the mean position from the extreme position, then it will go to the negative extreme position, then it will return to its mean position, and then again to the point from where it started. In such a case, this is known as a vibration. Similarly, the particles of the air which vibrates to and fro when the sound is produced. Other examples of vibration is a floating. If there is a floating cork, if there is a floating rubber cork, and if we press the cork downwards, then what will happen? It will start oscillating in the upward and downward direction, because due to the surface tension, the surface of the water acts as a stressed membrane. So therefore, when we press the cork downward, it will be pressed downward and the water level will again come up and the cork will start doing to and fro rotations. Another example of vibration is a spring. A mass is attached to a spring, and then if we pull the mass downwards, then again after pulling it downward, and we release it, then it will again start oscillating. It will start oscillating about the mean position. It will start oscillating about the mean position. So this is also an example of vibrations. Next, our topic is, what is the amplitude and time period? What is the amplitude? Amplitude is the maximum displacement from the mean position. Maximum displacement of the particle which are going oscillations from the mean position is known as the amplitude of the wave. And the time period. What is the time period? The time required to complete one oscillation, means the time from the position from which it started, again it will go to mean position, then to negative extreme, then again it will come to the mean, and then finally to the position from which it started. Then we say one oscillation is completed. So when one oscillation is completed, the time taken to complete one oscillation is known as the time period of the oscillation. Then there are types of vibrations. Types of vibration. The very first type is longitudinal vibration. In longitudinal vibration, the particle which is oscillating, it oscillates in the direction parallel to the axis of the particle. So for example, here this is the axis of the particle. The line through the mid of the particle, and the oscillation is in the direction which is parallel to the axis of the particle. So such an oscillation in which vibration is parallel to axis, this is known as a longitudinal vibration. Now next we have transverse vibration. Transverse vibration. What is transverse vibration? In transverse vibration, the particles of the medium vibrate in the direction which is perpendicular to the axis of the particle. So if this is the x-axis is the axis of the particle and the material, the particles of the medium are oscillating in direction which is perpendicular to the, so perpendicular to the x-axis means they are oscillating in the y direction or they are oscillating in the z direction. So that type of oscillation, such an oscillation will be a transverse oscillation, and last is the torsional oscillation. Torsional oscillation. What is torsional oscillation? It means, suppose we have a mass attached to a spring and we rotate it, we give it a twist. So when we give twist to that particle, then it will start rotating around the axis. It will start rotating a torsional, it will start performing torsional motion along the around the axis. So that oscillation is known as the torsional oscillations. So next is our next topic is damping and free oscillations. Damping and free oscillations. Free oscillations mean oscillating in the absence of any other force, absence of any external friction, and damping means when there is a dissipation of energy due to the air drag or due to friction, then it is known as damping. So first is, suppose if this is a pendulum and it is oscillating to and fro. Pendulum is oscillating to and fro, and it's what will happen if it is oscillating to and fro, its amplitude with the time will go on decreasing. After some time its amplitude will be less. After some time its amplitude will be decreased, and finally the pendulum will come to rest. Practically we see, if a pendulum is oscillating, so after some time its amplitude goes on decreasing and finally it comes to rest. Why it comes to rest? Because its energy is dissipated because of the air drag. So therefore such an oscillation in which there is an external force involved, what type of forces? The forces, there is a loss of energy. So an external force is there. This is damped oscillation. External damping force is there. Damping force is there. So this will be a damped oscillation. Damped oscillation. This is a damped oscillation. And what is a free oscillation? Free oscillation in a hypothetical situation, it is not a practical situation, but if we give a oscillation to a pendulum and there is no dissipating forces, no dissipating forces present, it means there is no force which is restricting or opposing the motion of the pendulum. Therefore the motion will start going on, will continue with the same amplitude, and it will continue for infinite time. The pendulum will never stop because there is no force to stop it. Such an oscillation is known as free oscillation. Such an oscillation is known as the free oscillation. So there are the two graphs between the free oscillation and the damped oscillation. So this is free and this will be a damped oscillation. So this will be a graph between the amplitude and time. Amplitude and time. The graph between amplitude and time. For a free oscillation, the maximum displacement, or we know also known as amplitude, is always constant. Here also if it is 1 meter, here it is also 1 meter, here also 1 meter. So the amplitude is always constant, and it is, the motion goes on for infinite time. But for a damped oscillation, the amplitude goes on decreasing with time. Amplitude goes on decreasing with time, and finally there is an exponential decay in the amplitude of the vibration, and finally the object comes to the rest because its all energy is dissipating in the medium. Such a oscillation is known as the damped oscillation. So there are certain differences between free vibrations and damped oscillations. We will do the difference between the two. So there is a difference between free and damped oscillation. First is, it continues forever with same amplitude. It continues forever with same amplitude, but in case of damped oscillation, amplitude goes on decreasing till objects comes to rest. Amplitude goes on decreasing till the object comes to the rest, and for free it is always. So here the energy is constant. Energy is constant. Here the energy is always constant, but here because it is dissipated, energy goes on decreasing. Energy goes on decreasing. Here no external force is there. And here external damping force is present. So here frequency remains same. Frequency means number of oscillations in 1 second remains same. Frequency remains same, but in case of the damping, frequency goes on decreasing, and the frequency remains the same in free oscillations. In the absence of any damping force, the frequency is same, and that frequency is the natural frequency of the object. That is the natural frequency of the oscillating object. In damping, the frequency is always less than the natural frequency of the is always decreases from the initial frequency. Our next topic is forced vibrations. Next will be forced vibrations. So what are forced vibrations? Since we know that for natural vibrations, the frequency goes on decreasing and the object comes to rest. But if we want an object to continue to oscillate, for object to continue to oscillate, an external force is required. An external running force is required. External force is required to continue the motion. So such an oscillations are known as forced oscillation, because the oscillations wants to get stopped, the object wants to come to the rest, but we are the external forces forcing it to continue vibrating. So such oscillations are known as the forced vibration. For example, examples of forced vibrations are the guitar. So we continuously prick the strings of the guitar so that they continuously produce the sound. So pricking the strings of the guitar is the forced vibration. The guitar vibration vibrating is a forced vibration. Another vibration, forced vibration is swing. Example is swing. So a swing, in swing a person swings it continuously. So a person is required to continuously push the swing so that it remains oscillating. If the person stops to swing, stops to push or pull the swing, then the swing finally comes to rest. Therefore, when a person is pushing it and it is oscillating continuously, then that is known as the forced oscillation. It is a forced oscillation. Forced oscillation. So this is a forced oscillation. What will be the frequency of the forced oscillation? The frequency of the forced oscillation will be equal to the frequency of the applied force. Means after how much intervals we are applying that force, that same will be the frequency of the forced oscillation. Now there are certain differences between forced oscillations and free oscillations. Next is difference between forced oscillations and free oscillations. So there are free oscillations and forced oscillations. Forced oscillations. So no external force is there. No external force is present. But here external varying forces, external time varying force is present. Next is frequencies. Here the frequency is same. Frequency is same as the natural frequency. Natural frequency of the oscillating object, but here frequency depends upon external force, and it may vary. The force may vary if the external force, the frequency of external force is changing, the frequency of oscillation will also be exchanging. So this force, this motion continues forever. It continues forever, but this motion continues till external forces there. So this will continue till the external forces there. So the frequency depends upon the size of the object, shape of object. So frequency, the natural frequency is the characteristic of the oscillating body, but here it depends only on external force. It depends only on the external force. So these are the certain differences between the free oscillations and the forced oscillation. Now there is another topic which is resonance. What is resonance? So resonance is the case, we know that every object has a natural frequency. So if it is going through free vibrations without any external force and without any external damping force or friction, there is a natural frequency of every object. and there is forced vibration in which we are forcing it to vibrate, and there is a frequency of the forced vibration. So there is a special condition if there is a special condition if frequency of forced vibration becomes equal to the frequency which is natural frequency. It becomes equal to the natural frequency, then the object oscillates with the very high amplitude or with the maximum amplitude. So what is the resonance? Resonance is what is the resonance frequency? Resonance frequency is the frequency when the frequency of the external force becomes equal to the natural frequency of the object which is oscillating, then the amplitude of the object becomes maximum. So that condition is known as the resonance condition. Some example of the resonance conditions, we will study some examples of the resonance conditions. So first example of the resonance condition is a tuning fork. Resonance in the tuning fork. So if there is a tuning fork, so it has a natural frequency F natural. So it has a natural frequency of F natural, and if we prick the tuning fork, and it starts producing sound. Producing sound, and sound will have the same frequency as that of the source. So if there is another similar tuning fork nearby which is very close to the first fork, and if the natural frequency of first is equal to the natural frequency of second, and so we have pricked it, and therefore if the frequency of this sound is also equal to the natural frequency of the second sound wave, then the second tuning fork will also start producing sound, or it will also start to vibrate with a very large amplitude. Such a condition is known as the resonance. It is resonance. Such a condition is known as resonance. Why is resonance used? Resonance can be used to amplify the volume, amplify the loudness of the object. For example, in guitars also. For example, in guitars there is a sound box present. There is sound box present, and there are the strings of the guitar. When the strings when the strings of the guitar are pricked, so then they produce sound. And that same sound enters the box. Same sound enters that hollow box, and there is air inside the box. So the sound box is made in such a way that the natural frequency of these strings become equal to the natural frequency of the air particles inside the sound box. So the air particles start vibrating with the increased amplitude. Therefore, we hear a louder noise. We'll hear a louder sound, or the sound of the string is amplified. So the phenomena behind the sound box or amplification of sound through string in a guitar is resonance, where the forced oscillation becomes equal to the frequency of forced oscillation becomes equal to the frequency of the natural frequency of the object. So these are the certain applications of the resonance. So here our chapter is over. So if there is still any doubt in this chapter, that can be clarified in our lecture, in the class. Thank you. Till then, revise this chapter and keep the notes of the chapter. Thank you.